Hey everyone out there watching, it's JT from Keystone Crew Outdoors. Welcome back to Keystone Crew's Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing Pick Show. As always, thank you for tuning in and your continued support of the channel. We're here to talk about the Super Bowl bass fishing, the Bassmaster Classic. Later this week, anglers from the Elite Series, Bass Nation, College Series, and the Bassmaster Opens will all head to Fort Worth, Texas to slug it out on Lake Ray Roberts. We're here to give you our advice on who to pick for your Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing lineups, your Falcon rods, Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge lineup, and your TH Marine Bassmaster Pick'em Challenge. Hopefully we've got all of our bad picks out of the way for the year in the last event. We were a little brutal, a little all over the place there, not exactly where we'd like to be or characteristic of what we would like to pick. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'd appreciate it if you did, especially if you like the content or use the advice we give on here. We're up to 218 subscribers, which is a big jump from last year. Keep the comments coming. I love the feedback, and I try my best to get back to all of you guys who take the time out for me. Chances are, if you're seeking out info for Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing, you're already signed up. But if you haven't signed up yet and want to check it out, sign up at bassmasterfantasy.com. It's completely free, and you'll be eligible for prizes from Bassmaster and their sponsors for each tournament. Also, you'll be eligible for prizes from us and our Keystone Crew group if you sign up there. After signing up, search the Groups tab for Keystone Crew and join our group. With the overwhelming support of the channel, I did end up having to put a password on the group. I didn't want anybody to just sign up, snipe prizes from our loyal followers who are with us from the beginning. But I also wanted to be sure that it was fair for our members while also growing our group. I figured the password was the best way to go there. New members to the group will have to watch these videos in order to get the password to sign up. The password is Crew25, all lowercase letters. If you're stumbling on our video and looking for advice, please subscribe. Remember, you can watch these tournaments every Saturday and Sunday on Fox Sports 1 and the Roku channel as well. That's completely free. I even think the Roku channel is broadcasting the Bassmaster Classic Celebrity Pro-Am. So that might be interesting to watch too. I plan on tuning in or at least watching the rerun of it on there. Before we jump into our picks and everything, I did do a video on Lake Okeechobee already and our results and how we did and who was our leader for the event and all that stuff. I already contacted them. Prizes went out. But I do want to give a shout out and look at our leaderboards to all of those who are participating in our groups. Here's a look at our leaderboard for Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing through 2 weeks. We've got T-Man 1992. T. Lindstrom in first, followed by Ben1234, B. Crosby in second, Unrow 1345, C. Unrow in third, I Am Fish Camp, Z. Campbell in fourth, and rounding out the top 5, Big Bass Man, J. Wonder in fifth. If you're wondering how I'm doing, I'm in 113th, which is just absolutely atrocious for the second event that we had there. Also, I love that I Am Fish Camp. All I could think of is I Am Batman. If you've used our top-ranked anglers in the Keystone Crew Power Rankings, you're sitting with a 70% meter. Lots of room to improve, guys. I can't sugarcoat it. We were not good in the second event. We're sitting just outside that dark green on the meter. Hopefully we can right the ship here in the Classic. And through 2 weeks for Falcon Rods Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge, we've got A. Thrawn in first, Mo Lures, Mo Problems, C. Mooring in second, S. Wilson in third, Najo 13, N. Jones in fourth, Walker 96, D. Walker in fifth, and if you guys are wondering how we're doing, I'm sitting in 98th place in Drain the Lake. If you use the Keystone Crew Drain the Lake picks for both events, you're sitting with an 80.7% meter. Still in the dark green, in our meter, but not the high dark green. We want to go up a little bit higher. I wish we were in like the low to mid 90s there. If you guys are curious what these leaderboards are for, we're giving out prizes this year. So if you want to see the prize that you could possibly win from us, check out our kickoff video showing off the prize lures by Spro, X-Zone, Rapala, Strike King, and Berkeley. I hope to make some videos reviewing these in the future when the ice melts here in good old northeastern Pennsylvania. I was, however, fortunate to do some walleye bank fishing on the Delaware North Branch the other day. We got on a bunch of nice walleye. I went out yesterday even with my brother and my cousin on the Susquehanna River, catching some end of winter smallmouth. But it's not really the best conditions to throw the baits that we're giving away right now. It's a very slow kind of fishing, almost like dead sticking your Ned and things like that. So I do hope to review and showcase some of these lures in action when summer hits and I can start getting out there in the spring and summer. Real quick, I did mention there would be hiccups this season with some of these prizes since it's the first year. And I did, have our first hiccup. I have to adjust that only members from the lower 48 states are eligible for prizes because of the shipping costs. It doesn't make sense for me to mail out a $6 lure and have it cost me between $18 and $30 to do it. Remember, I'm very small time, funding it all myself. We're not a fishing company or anything like that. My channel's not monetized. I have no sponsors or anything. So we have to work something else out maybe for our neighbors to the north, south, or wherever outside the United States that you may be watching from. I do apologize for the inconvenience, but the shipping costs are just completely out of my control. Now that we checked out how the group is doing and talked about the prizes and prize restrictions, let's find out what the group is playing for this week in Event 3, the Bassmaster Classic at Lake Ray Roberts. You know what? This is Texas, so I better go Texas. Put on my cowboy hat for the rest of this. Put an NEPA behind me for right now. So let's see what you guys are playing for. Lake Ray Roberts for Rapala Fantasy Fishing and Falcon Rods Drain the Lake Challenge. Let's see what Katie picked for us for this week's prize. Alright guys, our event this week is the Bassmaster Classic. So it's a special one. We're going to have Katie reach in here, see what we're playing for this week out of our Miles Appliance bag of prizes for the Bassmaster Classic at Lake Ray Roberts, Fort Worth, Texas. Ooh, we got a Spro, a Ruku Shad 75. So let's take a look here. You guys are working. You guys are going to be playing for one of these. I'll give you a closer look in a second. This week, we're playing for a Spro, a Ruku Shad 75. Now that we know what we're playing for this event, let's jump into the third event for fantasy fishing from March 21st through the 23rd, the 2025 Bassmaster Classic at Lake Ray Roberts from Fort Worth, Texas. Not technically a stop on the Elite Series, but it does count for both Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing and Falcon Rods Drain the Lake Challenge. Although not officially an elite event, many of your favorite elite anglers qualified for the event. Lake Ray Roberts is an artificial 29,350 acre reservoir named after Congressman Ray Roberts, who supported its construction back in 1980. Lake Ray Roberts is approximately 23 miles long with 158 miles of shoreline. The lake has an average depth of around 25 feet with a maximum depth of 106 feet. Anglers can catch largemouth bass, crappie, white bass, and catfish. We only care about the largemouth bass for this event though, which the current lake record is 15.18 pounds. The last time the elites were here was back in 2021. This was also for a classic. I believe it was Hank Cherry that won the event with 50 pounds, 15 ounces. Remember, they're 3-day events, so the bags aren't going to be as large as you might think, even though they're going to be pulling out some absolute monsters. Now that the history lesson's over, let's get on to the real reason you're watching, our research picks. Here's my research-based picks. Once again, I power rank the picks from Bass Pundits, different articles I read, and the videos that I watch. Lots of information out there for this event. The best of the best had to qualify for it. So there's not really any wrong answers or bad picks. Just some guys will catch them better than others this weekend. I'm hearing lots of guys saying they're focused on size more than limits, kind of looking for the home run balls instead of singles and doubles, and that kind of scares me a little bit, guys. Zaldain's going to be throwing his big swim baits, and Milliken too, and they absolutely catch them on them. But they're looking for the big bite instead of many bites, I guess. So I don't know what to think there, but here's what I came up with. In bucket A, I was between two anglers. It was very difficult for me to pick between Jay Przekurat and Patrick Walters. But this is how I ranked them. I got Jay Przekurat as our top-ranked angler with 6.5% owned, followed by Patrick Walters, 13.7% owned. Chris Zaldain, 10.8% owned. Lee Livesey with 29.8% owned. And Jordan Lee with 9.0% owned. Very tough bucket to pick. All of them are hammers. I wish I could just pick these 5 guys and be done. But the Cruise pick is Jay Przekurat with that 6.5% owned. In bucket B, we got our top-ranked angler, Stetson Blaylock, 9.0% owned, followed by Ben Milliken, 36.9% owned, Drew Cook, 5.7% owned, Greg Hackney, 7.9% owned, and Matt Arey, 5.3% owned. Cruise pick is Stetson Blaylock with 9.0% owned. In bucket C, I've got Tyler Williams, 10.2% owned, followed by Will Davis Jr., 23.4% owned, Koya Fujita, 24.3% owned, Robert G., 8.2% owned, and Hunter Shryack, 4.8% owned. Cruise pick is Tyler Williams, though. It's 10.2% owned. In bucket D, I've got Justin Atkins with 18.9%, followed by, now I gotta warn you, Easton Fothergill, 12.2% owned. I actually had Fothergill ranked higher than Atkins here, but I flip-flopped him because I just can't trust Fothergill after the first 2 events that he had. I'll probably look like an idiot. He'll probably win it. Our third-ranked angler, Wesley Gore, 3.0% owned, followed by Pat Schlopper, 3.4%, and Logan Parks, 27.0% owned. Our pick, though, is Justin Atkins, 18.9% owned, even though I did technically have Fothergill come out higher on my ratings, but I'm putting him second after the first 2 events he burned us. In bucket E, I've got Kyle Norsetter, 38.7% owned, and Blake Capps, 23.5% owned. I put them as 1 and 2 because they're elite anglers. They're not the Bass Nation guys or anything like that. We do have Jeremiah Kindy, 4.4% owned, Bobby Bakewell, 3.5% owned, and Cody Stahl, 3.8% owned. Those final 3 are non-elite anglers. They're working. Maybe they'll be on the elite soon, but they're not quite there yet. They just qualified for the Classic, and anything can happen. Our pick, though, is Kyle Norsetter, going with the experience with that 38.7% owned. For a tie-breaking weight, I'm going with 69 pounds, 10 ounces for this one. And just a quick recap here. If you're going with all of our top-ranked guys from the research picks, remember, any one of our research picks will probably do you okay. But our top-ranked guys who we're going with, bucket A, Jay Przekurat. Bucket B, Stetson Blaylock. Bucket C, Tyler Williams. Bucket D, Justin Atkins, and Bucket E, Kyle Norsetter. Now for our second game, Falcon Rods Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge. It's our other main fantasy game. Drain the Lake's an elimination style game where you can only use an angler once all season. Once you've used them, they're gone for the season. You'll notice this week some of the anglers aren't there that you normally pick because they didn't qualify for the Classic, and there's some new anglers in there that did qualify for the Classic. Normally I'd say you use 80 out of the 104, so pick wisely. But this week you could choose some of those non-elites if you were looking to save somebody. Let's see if any of those guys made our list. We're going with Matt Arey, Justin Hamner, Jeremiah Kindy. He's not an elite guy, but he made our list. Jordan Lee, Lee Livesey, Ben Milliken, Tyler Williams, and Chris Zaldane. Our third game is TH Marine Bassmaster Pick'em Challenge. We don't award prizes for this. We don't have a leaderboard or anything like that for this. So it's more so for fun, but I do want to go over who we're going with. In matchup 1, Texas Pick'em, Ben Milliken versus Chris Zaldane. I'm going with Chris Zaldane. Matchup 2, previous Classic champs, Jeff Gustafson versus Justin Hamner. I'm going with Justin Hamner here. Matchup 3, former Roy's or Rookie of the Years, Jay Przekurat versus Trey McKinney. I'm going Jay Przekurat. Matchup 4, War Eagle Anglers, Logan Parks versus Jordan Lee. I'm going with Lee. Matchup 5, Bass Nation Knockout, Blake Caps versus Connor Jacob. Going with Blake Caps here. Matchup 6, Brotherly Love, Chris Johnston versus Corey Johnston. I'm going with Chris here. And matchup 7, heavyweight bout, Patrick Walters versus Scott Martin. Going with Patrick Walters here. That'll wrap it up for our fantasy games for the third stop, the 2025 Bassmaster Classic. Remember, you guys are playing for our Spro Aruku Shad 75s. Also remember, it's a 3-day event, not a 4-day event like usual. Good luck to all you guys out there. I'm going to leave you guys with the Anglers' career stats from before the start of the 2024 season. As always, I'll catch you next time.